Now, live across this big, brown, flat, mysterious, easy country, it's Martin Molloy with Mick Molloy and Tony Martin.
And today, it's the biggest event on the show business calendar. And Mick was there. Yes, I'm talking Disney on Ice. Full report coming up. Can you tell it's a slow news day? Well, if not, you will after we've revealed Julio Iglesias' surefire seduction tips, gone head-to-head with the new-look Danny Minogue, and paid tribute to 30 fabulous years of play school. As always, we'll be turning you against each other on Radio Gladiators, dropping a heavy object onto Barbara Cartland on Beat the Beasley, and joining us live today, Iron Man Trevor Hendy. Yes, it's all coming up on the reason the vet was invented, Martin Molloy. So, welcoming you to the midweek edition of Martin Molloy right around Australia with myself, Tony Martin, and this bloke here, a man who's helping novelist Barbara Cartland celebrate her 95th birthday by letting her co-pilot his Oz car in tonight's challenge at Calder Park Thunderdome. Mick Molloy.
We're a lethal combination, Tone. Don't take your eye off us for a minute.
I have no idea if there is anything happening at the Thunderdome this evening, but it sounded like a good idea at the time.
Oh, yeah.
I've just got a mental picture of Barbara Cartland in an Oz car just burning around, dragging people off. It won't go away, Mickey.
And when they have to stop the car at high speed, they don't actually deploy a parachute. It's just a pair of her underpants. They come out the back of the car. Haven't you ever seen it?
For those emergency Cartland turns. Okay, Mickey, what's going on? Because there's not much news today for us to talk about. It's just V-chip. And I think our listeners are sick of us talking V-chip. So what do you got for us?
Well, Tone, good news for the kiddies, not so good news for their parents. Disney on Ice has hit our shores and been dragging them in right around the big brown land. It's already been, I think, to Brisbane, Hobart, Canberra, Sydney. I think it's in Melbourne now. Yeah. On the way to Adelaide. Must be school holidays somewhere, I'm reckoning. Now, that sounds like just loads of fun, doesn't it? Who do you reckon came up with that idea? Hey, let's get Mickey, Goofy, Donald in the skates, hang them on the ice, and call it entertainment. What's all that about? No one else who tours out here sees the need to go the ice option. I haven't seen any ads for Edward De Bono on ice. When the three tenors hit town later in the year, I doubt people are going to pay $1,000 for the good tickets, which just happen to be rinkside. How's the ice help anything? Hey, kids, want to go see a couple of blokes from America in mouse suits? Nah. Hey, they're on ice. Whoa, yes, please.
Will it be Oasis on ice when they're out here?
Should it? There's something to pitch.
Oh, I'm hoping so.
Well, let's go into bat for that ourselves. You know, it's not like they can be any good, is it? No. These Disney characters. I've never seen Uncle Scrooge podium side at the Winter Olympics when they're dishing out the medals. Maybe if they were playing a bit of ice hockey. That'd be good.
Yeah.
If I knew there was a chance I might see 7 dwarves laying into an unconscious Goofy with hockey sticks, I might give that a go.
That's entertainment.
That'll get the crowd going for sure, Tone. I think the Disney Corporation are just letting themselves down badly in the ideas department. Come on, Disney, send us something new, something fresh, something 90s. Disney on crack. How about that? I'd go and see that. Disney on the piss. See, now we're talking. Let's see Huey, Dewey and Louie going home in the back of a divvy van after starting a glass fight. Let's see Minnie waking up in a pool of her own vomit. Surely that's going to be more entertaining than watching half a dozen carefully tailored throw rugs doing a bit of circle work. I mean, if we've got to have some children's characters scooting around on ice, I don't see why we have to import them. Couldn't we have cobbled together something of our own? Someone, go talk to those Wilderness Society bears. They'll be in it if the cash is right. Get me that paddle pop lion. He's huge with the kiddies. How much would we need to post bail for Fat Cat? Let's get him out of the big house and onto the ice where he can punch out a few Torval and Dean-style numbers with a pumped-up plucker duck weaving a bit of magic in a pair of sequin flares.
Oh, yes.
Leave it with me, kids. I'll work on something. In the meantime, you'll just have to see Disney on Ice. Now, I know a bloke who's actually going, Tone, and a friend of mine, and I asked him why, and you know what he said to me?
What?
He said, the same reason I go to see the motor racing. There's always the chance of an accident.
On me as you, says Brian Adams here at Martin Molloy. And Mickey, since we seem to be down the shallow end of the pool today, let's take a peek inside the Martin Molloy Galaxy of Stars. And guess who's in there today, Mickey?
Oh, I don't know, tell me.
steamy Latin superstar crooner Julio Iglesias. Do you follow his work?
Keenly.
Our good buddy Santo Chilaro from The Late Show and Frontline, his parents have got this little beach house. And I don't know if you've been there, actually. Have you
Yes,
seen,
I have.
And have you seen the centrepiece? The centrepiece of the lounge area is this enormous spotlit framed portrait of Julio.
No, you know what? I was looking at it once, and I saw the eyes move, and apparently that's hollowed out behind, and they go and stand around there behind it, and you can look out the Iglesias eyes.
Is that Mr. Chilaro?
Yeah.
Mr. Soccer, as we know him, around the back, right. And Santo tells me that this is true. Recently, the place was burgled. Thieves took everything but the picture. That's not a word a lie. But I'm sure they would have taken it if they had heard the following story. Listen to this. The 52-year-old Spaniard has revealed that he has made love every night since 1981. He hasn't missed a night, okay? And on several occasions with a partner, apparently. No. Julio says, I am intensely erotic. For me, sex is vital. It's like sleep. It's like sleep. So, he has to get his 8 hours or he's grumpy all day, apparently. But Iglesias reckons he has bedded over 3,000 women, and his seduction tips include... Now, get your pens out.
Okay, I'm writing this down.
Is straight from the mind of Julio. Seduction tip number 1. Talking to the woman about her interests. Oh, hang on a sec. That's revolutionary. Oh, have you tried that? Imagine if that catches on.
He's gone mad.
Is that why on Miss America the host always asks the contestants what their interests are? That's what's going on there. Okay, number 2. Julio says he never takes a woman to her favourite restaurant on the first date as her pals will distract him. Now, what does that mean? Women always have their friends hanging out at their favourite restaurant, do they? Distracting Julio from the task at hand. Basically, Julio's saying he's such a sleaze that the only way he can give his date his full attention is if there's nothing else in a skirt for a 5K radius. Of course, the answer there is for the woman to make sure that all her friends are seated on Julio's right. Because have you heard about that?
Oh, yes.
You're only allowed to look at Julio or photograph him from one side. I think it's the left, his left. No one's ever seen him from the other side. He must be like Two-Face in Batman. Mariah Carey is the same, apparently. I was reading this article about this. And watch out. If you see him on Letterman, check it out. The camera's only ever getting him from the one side.
Wow.
And I reckon with Julio, it's because he's received so many slaps on the face from eyeing off other women in restaurants. That's what's going on there. But Julio's third and final seduction pointer. Listen to this. Jacuzzis are the best place for wild sex. Says his former girlfriend, Virginia Seipel, or as Julio affectionately calls her, number 2674. In the jacuzzi, that's where Julio most likes to make love. Now, not that that's much help to anybody, really, because, how many people have jacuzzis at their house, apart from Molly Meldrum and anyone Swedish? Nobody really. So, but if you really want to give Julio's technique a burl, and remember, this is top-shelf advice from a bloke who's done the bezzo every night for the last 15 years, suppose you could improvise a jacuzzi, fill the bath with really hot water, throw in a lot of Sunlight dishwashing liquid, get your vacuum cleaner, whack it on blow and just plunge the hose in. And if you haven't got a vacuum, a very heavy Thai meal will suffice. Oh, look, I'm just trying to bring Julio's surefire seduction tips within the reach of the average wage earner. But 3,000 women in 15 years, it makes you rethink that song To All the Girls I've Loved Before, doesn't it? That's why he wrote that song. He didn't have the time or energy to write to them all individually, so he's whacked out that single. It's like a musical form letter. To all the girls I've loved before, take a number and orderly queue at the jacuzzi. Toy dreams, and a few people have been popping in here to Martin Molloy's offices just in the last 3 minutes saying, is that true about Julio? I swear to you, you have a look at Julio, whenever he's on telly, the camera's only ever on one side.
I've heard that.
Something's going on.
What's he up to?
I don't know.
What's he hiding?
Mariah Carey, the same. Who was the person who came in here that no one was allowed to look at? Remember that?
Harry Connick Jr.
Harry Connick Jr., yeah. Remember?
Don't look at me! Don't soon look at me!
He must have been having a bad face day or something.
Having a bad face day. I burnt your eyes! I burnt your eyes!
That happens when you get the big stars in. There's always a list of things no one's allowed to do.
Apparently, if you look directly at him, you can go blind. I've heard that.
But the receptionist was having a fun time showing him through the building. She wasn't allowed to look at him, so she was just walking, it's through here, Mr. Connick. Just a lot of bumping into doors or bumping into a jar of Gatorade has just happened then. We'll clean that up in a moment, but life goes on at Martin Molloy. Welcome to Head to Head, Martin Molloy's new hard-hitting, issues-based current affairs segment. Today, Mick Molloy goes head-to-head with Danny Minogue.
Danny, thanks for your time. Would you like to say something that's totally sad but unfortunately true?
There seems to be in Australia a fascination with everything I do.
Well done. Now, tell us about your buzzies. How did they get that big?
I can't work it out.
Am I correct in saying they're the biggest melons currently going around?
That's what they say.
Uh-huh. Can I touch them?
Yeah.
Great. Whoa, they're ace.
Tar.
When you're signing autographs, I've heard sometimes you forget how to spell your name. Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, say someone gives you a pen and paper, you can't remember how to spell your name. What do you write?
I write entertainer. Just keep it vague.
Of course you do. Now, we've met once before, haven't we? Do you recall it? If I remember correctly, I was...
Standing out in the middle of the Nevada desert, starkers, running around.
Doing the chicken tonight dance. Yes. And you were chasing me round going, Mickey Plops, I'm going to give you a love bite on the bot. Are you embarrassed about that now?
No, it's something that I really enjoyed doing. And I'm very proud of.
Jason Donovan got hit by a bus recently. Do you think that could ever happen to you?
Let's hope not.
If you did get hit by a bus, how do you think it would affect you?
I'll be flattered.
I'm sorry?
I'll be flattered.
I think you mean flattened. Anyway, let's move on. Danny, thanks for your time. One last question. When you get to the end of your career and people look back, how would you like to be remembered? What would you like people to say about you?
Oh wow, she goes shopping.
Thanks for coming in, Danny. And just before you go, I think we've got time for one more giggle.
Tar.
Let me see if I can remember. Boyzone! With father and son here at Martin Molloy, where in the next hour, Trevor Hendy's going to be with us.
Hendo.
Hendo. Do people call him Hendo?
No, we just made that up.
It'll stick now.
Hendo!
And what's the Hendo story at the moment? He's a six-time Ironman champion.
Mm-hmm. Still counting.
Right.
He's got a couple left in the tank for sure, I reckon.
He left the game for a while, but didn't he?
He had to do some Olympic trialling in the old kayak, which didn't go too well. I think he just missed a spot in Atlanta.
Okay.
But he's got his sights set on Sydney in 2000.
Right, I'm just crossing out. We better not mention that. And he's back in the Ironman game.
Now, I just hope when he's in here, I'm not going to be confused. Can you sit apart?
Oh, look,
Can you put some space between you? Because you're the dead spit.
I'll just get a little label introducing Tony and introducing Trevor.
Okay.
We'll have one each. So
I get confused.
Possibly.
Oh, no. Hendo's the guy who doesn't want to be seen from the left side of his face.
Yeah.
Tone's the guy who doesn't want to be seen from the right side.
All right, we'll see if we can get his surefire seduction tips happening in the next hour. Also, we've got Beat the Beasley, where yesterday it was another disaster, wasn't it?
What happened yesterday?
We trialled what we're calling the B chip, i.e. whenever violence appears on your telly, a giant Kim Beasley comes down and crushes it.
There you go.
That part of it worked fine. It was just the answering of the question successfully that didn't seem to happen. So we've made them, well, we say this every day, we've tried to make them simpler again, and today we'll be having a special birthday surprise for Barbara Cartland.
Hey.
A special moment for the mums in the audience today. Also, we've got Radio Gladiators coming up, of course. Have you found any news worth talking about?
Well, nothing in the papers, Tone, but I'm watching the telly before, and a promo comes on for tonight's episode of Today Tonight, and there's an absolute beauty of a story on. Now, some states, I believe, may have already screened this.
Yeah, okay.
But check it out if you get the chance, if it's playing in your town. It's about a transsexual school teacher who's causing a storm in the South Australian town of Port Augusta.
Right.
Now, it's a kiddies class. I think it must be a junior school. And they show a bit of footage of the teacher, and it's a fairly large bloke dressed as a woman. And not pulling it off too well either. I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing Alice Cooper in a frock. And I'm thinking about this, and Tone, I'm imagining that'd be a pretty well-behaved class, because I'm in the lounge room, and it's giving me the creeps. I'm thinking they'd be sitting there doing exactly as they're told.
Has the teacher got one boxing glove on, threatening to rip their arms off if there's any trouble?
Just about. You're in the terrain. Have you seen it? Have you had a look?
I haven't, I'm afraid, so I can't comment.
But all the kiddies, that's what I couldn't see. There was a shot of them, and they're all looking a bit confused, and I'm wondering if they know. And if so, how'd they find out? That'd be one show and tell they're still talking about, wouldn't it? I can't believe... The parents aren't happy, Tone. And,
No.
I can see their point. Imagine parent-teacher night. You rock up for a meeting with your teacher, and he's sitting there looking like some bizarre cross between a host of a footy show and a female premier going, "Hello, Mrs. Jenkins. Yes, Johnny's not performing too well in class. I think he has trouble fitting in with others." You'd be sitting there going, yeah, that may be true. But somehow I get the impression he's not the Lone Ranger. In the front row, now I'm not sure about this because it was just a promo, but in the front row, there was a young girl, or at least it looked like a young girl. Closer inspection, I reckon, will reveal it as a boy. And you know what I thought straight away? What? Teacher's pet. There's always one.
This is Martin Molloy, brought to you by Absolutely Nobody.
Here at Martin Molloy, and we're talking about a very special party today on this segment.
Radio Gladiators, your chance to represent your state and win fame, glory, and fabulous prizes. Here's today's challenge.
There was a very special party yesterday celebrating 30 years of Australians enjoying this particular song here.
There's a bear in there.
Ah, yes.
The chair as well.
The Play School theme, don't we love it?
Has the top 30 started?
Charting. There's been a lot of requests. I think we've heard enough, Gracie. That's a fantastic theme, and much better than the one we have in New Zealand for Play School.
Oh?
Which simply goes, I think it goes, here's a house, here's a door, windows, 1, 2, 3, 4. And even when you're 3, you're sitting there going, yeah, I can see that. I'm not stupid. Windows, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Tell me something I don't know.
But your theme much more superior than that. And, of course, 30 years of fabulous characters. Would there have been a big tank on? Would there have been a party? Would it have been Cointreau ball style? Big Ted, Little Ted showing up?
There would have been something going on for sure.
Melissa George would have been there for sure. Dita Brummer. Do these people have anything to do but show up at parties?
That's what they do.
Melissa George will show up at things in a different dress, doesn't she?
That's quite clever. It takes more time, you're not giving her enough credit.
All right, fair enough. But what's going to happen in the next 30 years? That's what we're talking about today on Radio Gladiators. Innovations, ideas, changes. Can they just keep flogging that same Play School horse?
Every time, every so often, you've got to freshen up. Yeah. You've got to clear out the stable of characters. You've got to muck out the stables and bring in a new lot. And that's what we're looking for.
They've done it on Wheel of Fortune. Now maybe it's time for Play School to have a rethink. So we're looking for new ideas, innovations. We're looking for characters. We're looking for segments. We're looking for just stuff you would like to see on Play School to give it a revamp. Any ideas at all, Mickey?
I was thinking, what about an animated talking butt? Like the Molly Grub lips. Except it's an animated butt. That's got to have legs, hasn't it? Well, the kids can talk to the kids.
The kids would love that. What about just more violence so that kiddies can find out if the V-chip is actually working or not? Just, okay, there's a bear in there. I want it to be a live grizzly just running about. And, whenever they go through the window, let's see one of the hosts be physically hurled through the arch, round or square window. And if the V-chips are working, obviously kiddies won't see that bit.
Let's see a bouncer on the front door of that house. Sorry, mate, you can't come in.
Not in those pants.
We've had lots of shows. I had lots of, humans in animal suits.
Yeah.
How about some animals in human suits? Why can't the show be hosted by a dog in a John Waters suit? That'd be fun for the kids, wouldn't it?
Who have they got on there at the moment? Big Ted, Little Ted? I think I'd like to see them modelled on Ted Drain and Ted Mulry.
Now we're talking.
There's your two Teds.
Yep.
What about new characters? What about Queensland gun nut Ian McNiven and his character Jackboot Johnny? That'd keep the kids entertained. Certainly had me laughing.
Hours and hours of fun for the kiddies there.
Did you have... I'm not just asking again about the New Zealand versus Australia Play School. We had, when I was very, very young, I remember there was a gollywog on the show, which, of course, these are the days before, people went, hang on a sec, what's the gollywog all about? Oh, my God, quick, get the gollywog out. We're talking the 1970s, and all of a sudden, the gollywog wasn't part of the cast anymore just one day, which is fair enough, but, oh, dear, kids were going, what happened? Was the gollywog dragged out in the forest and shot?
Was there a farewell, or did this just happen slowly but surely?
It just happened Baby John style, and they hope nobody had noticed. But we want you to call us up with your suggestions, ways to revamp the Play School format. It's as simple as that. Do we have a prize? Let's step into the prize lounge, Gracie. Yes, we've got tickets for you and a friend to see John Farnham live in concert, plus that Martin Molloy T-shirt, and you'll go into the draw for that trip for two to, I think you know where by now, the fabulous 4-star Port Douglas Treetops, flying Ansett Airlines and staying 7 nights. Call us up because the Port Douglas Treetops is front door and windows 1, 2, 3, 4.
There you go.
You can't miss it. Call us with your play school suggestions, 1-800-657-657. The Rich Project here at Radio Gladiators, where today we're enjoying this little bit of music here. Yes, it's the 30th anniversary of Play School, or at least it was tomorrow. We're saying, obviously, they're going to need new ideas and innovations for the next 30. That's what we're canvassing for today. And, Mickey, I know we often don't set a very high standard in the setup for this segment.
Sure.
But, Emma, could you just reenact the first person who actually spoke to you when you answered the phone? What was his suggestion?
Just a few changes to the characters and that.
Maybe a bit of workshopping.
Okay. And he thought that might have got him to Port Douglas, did he? All right. Well, I tell you what, who knows if we're going to go any better than that? Let's find out. Who's first, Mickey?
It's Robert. Hello, Robert.
Hi there. How are you?
No, not too bad at all. Now, what are you sitting on? How do you think they can freshen up Play School?
I reckon a gun crimping demonstration just for the littlies.
Oh, Now, what's the state of play with gun crimping? Has it been rejected by the Prime Minister today? I think it might have been.
Oh, no.
I think
I was looking forward to that.
Yeah.
No, Robert. Yeah, it'll happen next time, buddy.
That John Howard, you just can't trust him.
Oh, no.
He's Jackboot, Johnny, please. Call him by his
sorry.
correct name.
Wrong name.
Okay.
So, crimping for the kids.
Yeah, get the...
What are we talking? Are we talking cap guns? Little BB guns?
Get the water pistols.
It's those water pistols, our problem.
Get the super soaker in and go the crimp. Get them crimping at an early age.
Exactly, yeah.
And
well done, Robert.
Get a bit of national service happening while you're there. Okay, thanks, Robert. Now we've got the first of two Matthews. Hello, Matthew 1. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Matthew, I believe you've got some new characters for Play School.
I've got a couple. How about Lyle and Eric Menendez?
Oh, the lovable Menendez brothers. So it's Big Lyle and Little Eric?
That's the one. Yep, just preaching good family values to the boys.
And when they have the house that goes come inside, it's
That's
exactly
it.
the same, except all the windows have got bars on them.
And there's chalk outlines everywhere and that police tape. And
Oh, yeah.
What were you singing before, Gracie? If you're happy and you know it, shoot your dad. Oh, I don't know if we can say that on this program.
Better not say that, Tone.
Thanks, Matthew 1.
Thanks.
And Matthew 2, are you with us?
Good evening, gents.
And what's happening, Matthew? Got an idea for the new look Play School?
Yeah, I do. I think we should just scrap the whole Play School idea altogether.
Yeah.
And due to the growth of unemployment, there needs to be a children's show to prepare them for their inevitable future.
Yeah.
So I think you should have like a character called C.S. Sally who prepares the little kiddies and gets them jobs. And you could have like...
CES, and maybe the actual Play School house could just be a big CES.
Well, that's right.
There's no jobs in there.
Yeah.
Come inside.
You could have other characters like Dropout Derek who come in.
The Paxtons?
Yeah.
They could host.
You could have a Paxton file.
And hello to everybody at the North Sydney CES. I don't know whether they're going ahead with this, but they were last night. They were going to have a work-in. It's a protest, and they've decided the best way to take industrial action at the CES is just to keep working.
It's a key word, because what happens, they're going to lose their jobs, are they?
Oh, I think so.
Why don't they just not put those little markers out on the floor, on the CES floor? You know, the ones that advertise their job.
Keep the good stuff, but I believe they're undergoing a full-on 32-hour work-in, and they're prepared to keep working until they get their way.
Good on them.
I'm not sure if that's still going ahead, but thanks for drawing our attention to it, Matthew 2. Now we've got Andrea. You there, Andrea?
I certainly am. Hi, guys. How are you?
Not too bad.
Tell us about your idea for Play School.
Well, my idea is to set it in a mini casino. So we get the kids early. They get used to the games, and then when they turn 18, they're right to get in there.
Right, so this would, at least in Victoria, this would be a very popular
I
edition.
think so. It's Victoria-based, I think.
Yeah.
And how would it affect the actual format of the show?
Well, we have to have a new theme song, and I've sort of drafted a rough guide to start off with. I can sing it for you if you like.
Okay.
Attempt to. There's a Jeff in there, and a Jeff as well. There's people with games and shares we can sell. Open wide, come inside. It's Casino World.
Are you calling us from Victoria, Andrea?
I certainly am, yes.
Yes, I got that feeling. I don't know, Jeff. Do the kiddies want to be exposed to Jeff? to Jeff Kennett.
It's got to happen at some stage.
Could scare them.
I think that's less appropriate than a gollywog on Play School myself. Okay, thanks, Andrea. Now we've got Shane. Shane, are you with us?
G'day, fellas. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad.
I'd like to see a Play School wheel with Baby John at the helm.
Oh,
Yeah. Now, the wheel, of course...
So what are you talking about? You're talking about Play School being hosted by Baby John Burgess.
Yeah, but the wheel, right, it's made out of pipe cleaners and paper cups, and that's so the kids can have a go at home.
Yeah.
And, of course, we've got Miss Jemima up there turning letters for everyone.
Very nice. Actually, I understand Baby John has built his own little wheel out of pipe cleaners. He's just sitting at home on his own, turning it, slowly going, time will come. All right.
And his pipe cleaners and stuff,
Very nice. Okay, thanks, Shane. Not a bad idea. Have we got time for one more, Mickey?
Let's do it. Dean, are you there?
Yep.
Okay, what are you sitting on, mate? How do you reckon Play School can put themselves in good stead for the future?
I reckon they should get, like, transsexual hosts.
Very topical, Dean.
Like the teacher. Like the teacher. So now we've got hosts of Play School. Are they actual transsexuals or are they people in transsexual costumes?
No, it's some bloke with a bit of stubble and a bright orange frock and long black hair and pigtail.
Well,
there you go. I asked, didn't I?
You've got an eyewitness account there. And is that our winner? Because it's certainly topical. It's torn from today's headline.
I like it a lot, Tom. All right, on Play School. It's the way of the future. Dean, you've got yourself the Farnham tickets, the Martin Molloy T-shirt, and you've gone into the draw when Pete Smith may well pull your name out of the barrel this Friday.
Thanks a lot, fellas.
Okay, be listening and get your thinking cap back on because we might be calling on your services in future editions of Radio Gladiators. Thanks for playing. Thanks to everybody who took part, even the bloke who said, just a few changes to the characters and that. And we'll be back in the next hour with Iron Man, Trevor Hendy.
This is Martin Molloy.
If you remain here another hour, you do so at your own peril.
Brought to you by Absolutely Nobody.
And in this hour, Beat the Beasley, the future arrives early. And next up, we'll be giving Trevor Hendy a few fitness pointers on Martin Molloy, your killer Venetian blinds connection. Right beside you, that's Sophie B. Hawkins. It's the second hour of Martin Molloy, and I think it's time to talk sport. We'll talk sport, shall we? Let's do it with our guest, this bloke here. He's a six-time Australian Ironman champion. He got out of the game last year to have a crack at kayaking, but now he's back and set to pull on the lolly bags for the upcoming Uncle Toby Super Series. We've slipped, we've slopped, and we've slapped, and we're ready to face Trevor Hendy. Trevor, thanks for coming in today.
My pleasure.
Now, we're allowed to just call you Trevor because I've noticed you've got the letters, what is it, AM after your title, after your name.
Yep, I'm actually wearing that on the back of my Speedos now. So.
You really?
No, they texture it on your arm.
Now, this is how dumb we are, Trevor. What is AM? What does that mean?
It's a member of the Order of Australia.
All right, and what are your obligations there? Do you have to show up at shopping centres time to time?
Just go to the Queen's for dinner once every 6 months, basically.
How is she?
She's great, yeah, going really well.
You giving her any advice, re the marriage breakups, that kind of a thing?
Yeah, all that stuff. Interesting, when I got the letter, it said the Queen has been advised of your appointment, and I sort of thought, wonder where she was when she got advised. What was she doing? And did she say it's about time?
Exactly. Right, so how has it changed your life now that you're AM?
It's done absolutely nothing, really. I've got a lot of great letters and correspondence from people and a lot of congratulations and stuff, which is really nice. But other than that, it's just me.
But when you're out on the course, when you're in a kayak, when you're with other Iron Men, are they sort of sizing you up going, oh, Trev's gone all AM now? Is there a certain procedure? Do they have to shake your hand in a certain way?
Well, my training partners have said with my reputation for getting up in the morning, being none.
Oh, I see.
that they don't know how I got an AM. It should have been a PM. But there's too much work involved with that. So.
You're an order of PM, aren't you, Mickey?
Oh, yeah. I'm the chairman of the PM board, Trev. Now, tell us, you've coming back from Stillwater to surf. This is for the big Ironman tournament coming up. What's the basic difference?
Basic difference, I guess, is the surf's a lot more fun. The kayaking's so serious, and you see that with Olympic trials. Your whole life's on the line for one event.
Right.
And come back to surf, and the Uncle Toby series is a hell of a lot of fun. It's really competitive, and I'm keen.
You missed out in Atlanta. Was that disappointing to you?
At the time, it lasted for about 12 hours, I reckon, and then I got over it and decided to move on and use it as a stepping stone.
Back in the big pool.
Yeah, that's right.
Back in the big pool. And was that well received by your former opponents, or were they going, oh, great, here he comes again? Because you've already bagged 6 of these titles, haven't you?
That's right. I'm not too sure how well received it was. I haven't really spoken to too many of them, but I don't think they would have been totally stoked that I'm coming back. But I think they think that I'm not too much of a worry these days anyway.
Right. And is there a bit of camaraderie, or because you're all doing the same thing, or do you not, relate well with your competitors?
Actually, we're really good. We get on really well, and the biggest thing is you can be leading by 100 metres and get hit by a wave and you're out, and everyone has that respect. So we're not really racing each other. We're racing the elements. And we've actually got a band together. The guys, that's how well we get on. But But we found out when you get in a band, you don't get on anyway.
Exactly. It's a whole different story there.
Band practice starts at 6 o'clock, which means the first person gets there at 5 to 7. So.
Okay, now let's just go in here for a sec. You've got an Iron Man band happening. What are they called? Where can we see them?
The Iron Man Band. That's what we're called.
Is that what they're called?
And we're playing at the Hard Rock on the 13th of July.
Right. And
Surfers Paradise Hard Rock.
Hard Rock.
Being an Iron Man band, when you show up for rehearsal, obviously you don't just pile out of a van. Do you have to do a 6K run? Is there a swim? Is there a cycle before you can even pick up the axe?
Yeah, there's 4 separate legs involved in it. The guitar's just one part of it.
Right.
And we do cross training as well.
Right now, you're on the guitar. We know that, Trev. Who else is in there? What do they do?
Grant Kenny's on guitar, and he plays it.
Any good?
Dwayne Tyers is on drums.
Who's doing the singing?
Guy Andrews sings and sings very well.
Right.
And Jay Gilbert is on bass. Right. And Craig Riddington, who's not actually with us for the next gig, but is our resident guitarist and bass player as well, is in there.
And who's biting the head off Bats? Someone's got to be biting the head off Bats, Trev. It might not be in the Iron Man diet, but someone's got to do it.
Yeah, we haven't nominated that one just yet.
You have to watch what you eat pretty carefully, don't you?
Yeah, I watch what I eat.
How many meals a day?
5 meals a day.
5 meals a day?
Yeah, start with 14 Vitabrits, as you know.
Yeah, of course. There'd be some breakfast cereal in there somewhere, I imagine. Then what?
And then basically second, third and fourth meals are like pre-lunch, lunch and after lunch.
Right,
and they're just sandwiches or pasta or leftover stuff. It's always good food.
Souvlaki.
Yeah, a bit of that.
That'd be training food, wouldn't it?
I swear, dinner sometimes I have like a plate, or every night at least I have a plate of meat and a plate of veggies or a couple of plates of pasta, and I've had like 7 or 8 T-bones and a couple of fish and 5 bits of corn and a few sausages in one hit, I'm not a good person to invite over for a barbecue.
Well, I think I'm getting a bit hungry, so we might all stop for a bit of a smorgasbord right now, if that's all right, Trev.
Oh, super.
We'll wheel in the
donuts.
We'll wheel in the Martin Molloy Bain Marie, and we'll all dive into that, and we'll be back in a moment with more of Trevor Hendy in just a moment. Pity we haven't got his band to do the number here for us, but...
we'll work something out.
Okay, that'll be next on Martin Molloy. Forever Now, which of course provides me another opportunity to say chisels here at
Martin Molloy.
And Trevor Hendy's still with us on the panel. Trevor, tell us about kayaking. What's it like if people are thinking about jumping into a kayak? What do they need to know?
Well, I guess for anyone that's ever paddled those wave skis, you see little wave skis, there's a step up to go on a racing ski like we do in surf, and then it's another 5 steps to a kayak. You've got to take the seat out so you don't fall out. It's the funniest thing when you see someone start it, and it can be like a great athlete, and I get on down there and I go, yeah, have a paddle. Yeah, come on out.
When did you first know you had a talent for, I suppose just this whole fitness regime, Trev? How old were you when you thought, I'm going to give this a crack professionally?
I started Nippers when I was 9.
Nippers, what's that?
Junior Surf Life Saving.
Junior Surf Life Saving.
And then just loved it, and basically didn't do any training till I was about 15, 16, and then I picked up a couple of Australian titles in board paddling and swimming and stuff like that.
Trevor, let me get this right. At 9 years old, you're running up the beach like Baywatch, pulling people out of the surf. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, yeah.
Hey, do you watch Baywatch, Trev?
All the time.
Are you a fan of it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it documentary-like in its realism? Do you find that?
It just strays a little bit here and there.
Takes a tad too much license occasionally, but otherwise pretty true to the fact.
And would David Hasselhoff be someone who you would hold in high esteem, someone you'd aspire to as a role model?
David's not bad, actually. I think the implants is where it sort of goes a little bit astray.
Okay. And he's a pretty mean musician himself.
And what's the history of Iron Man? How did that start? Who decided to combine, a really lethal swim with a really hard run and then, an absolute drop-dead kind of paddle in the meantime?
Oh, I don't know, some idiot.
What year was this? I mean, was Iron Man around before you, Trev?
Yeah, 1966, I think Hayden Kenny won the first Australian Ironman title, related, of course.
And how's he looking these
Grant
days?
Kenny. Looks sensational.
Does he?
But every other Ironman since him's not looking so good, so
I see.
including Grant.
Now, obviously, you have to be pretty good at a lot of things to be an Ironman, Trev, but what are you no good at it? Are you good at programming the G-code on your VCR?
I'm all right at that. What am I no good at?
Are you called when, someone needs a jar of pickled onions open? Is that you? You get the job for that?
Yeah, that's the one too. I'm doing tight like Iron Man. Oh, you can undo this for us, can't you? It's like, of course I can. I know how to run it under a hot tap.
I'm reading here, Trev, that your interests are, surprisingly, surfing, skiing, guitar and fishing. Now, is there any chance of combining all those into the one event? Go for a bit of a ski,
a bit of a fish, and then a bit of Inagata Davida. Just to boot at home.
Some S-turns.
What are you going to do when you finish up? I mean, obviously you've got a shelf life as an Iron Man. There's a point where the body just goes, hey, Trev, call it off. What are your plans thereafter?
I guess probably spend 12 months pulling the body back together and then go surfing, skiing, fishing and playing guitar.
Okay, sounds like a good plan.
Nothing much is going to change, really.
What's the next key fixture for Hendy Buffs? Is it that'll be October 12th? Would that be correct?
October 12th, yeah. October 13, I think, is the race on Gold Coast, Duranbar, first race of the Uncle Toby series.
I noticed most of the races are up on the Gold Coast and the New South Wales coast, and there's one scheduled down in Melbourne. You must look forward to jumping in the water down there.
Hey, to tell you the truth, I love it.
Do you?
Portsea is unreal. It's always huge surf, and it's cold, and your voice goes a bit high.
I saw some footage once, and there was some kind of kayaks splintering up across the shore. It gets pretty big surf down.
Yeah, very, very big. And with the cold water, it's not so flattering on national television in your swimmers.
Oh, yes, exactly.
But
these are the things you have to take into account.
You get a huge crowd. Melbourne people love their sport, so we love going there.
Is there a groupie kind of element, Trevor? Do you get hounded?
No.
You don't? Not at all. You said that too quickly. Methinks he doth protest too much.
No, that's why he's getting into the rock game. Now, give us the dates for the band, the Iron Man band, Hard Rock Cafe in...
The 13th of July.
In Sydney.
Surfers Paradise.
Surfers
the new
Paradise.
one up there, yeah.
And to take us out today, Trev, I believe you're going to favour us with a bit of guitar.
If I must.
Okay, well, we've got one. We've got Gracie's guitar we brought in.
Hang on a minute, is this in tune?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Just fire it up. And
what do you want to hear?
Anything. You just surprise us. Nothing too elaborate, because we don't want to daunt people who are thinking of taking up the axe. Here we go. Trevor Hendy has been talking to us today. Thanks, Trev.
Okay.
And here he is on the guitar.
Hang on a sec. I'll take you out with a bit of classical.
Okay.
Weave some magic, Trev.
Beautiful. Hey, Tone, flip a Goldie in that guitar case. That's a 9.8. Up there. All right, Trevor, that's enough out of you.
Get out of here. Hell, he's gone.
He moves quickly. He's got another gig to go to. That was Trevor Hendy. Trevor Hendricks, we'll call him from now on, here at Martin Molloy. And thanks for Trev for dropping by.
Did you say Trevor Hendricks?
I know, that's just... I stand outside in
Go and have a talk to yourself, buddy.
Standing in the corner of fence on this program. Dear, oh dear. I'll be putting out some kind of comedy calendar next with material like that. Okay, we want to thank Trevor, obviously, and keep an eye out for the Uncle Toby's Super Series coming to a town near you from about October. And right now, let's have ourselves another sporting event.
It's time to play Beat the Beasley. Here's how it works. Mick and Tony have commissioned the nation's finest designers, engineers and craftsmen to construct several frighteningly lifelike replicas of federal opposition leader Kim Beasley. Every day on Martin Molloy, one of these enormous structures will be dropped onto something fragile, tiny or defenseless. That is, unless you can correctly answer 5 questions and beat the Beasley. If you're successful, you'll win a Sanyo Olympic home entertainment package, including a Sanyo widescreen TV, sports review VCR, enough pizza and Coke to get you through the games, and a cleaner to come to your place and deal with the aftermath. Okay, lads, roll out the Beasley.
Yes, indeed. And today's Beasley, well, because I'm sure we're all excited about this new ruling by the, what are they called exactly? The World Court. I didn't know there was a World Court.
No, you know now.
That's pretty serious.
There's a Universe Court.
If you're coming up before the World Court, you know you're in trouble. The International Court of Justice have said, they've come out and laid out a decree that if you use a nuclear weapon, you can be arrested. Just keep that in mind, Molloy. You pick up a nuclear weapon, buddy, they're coming round to knock on your door.
What if I crimp it?
Oh, yeah, crimped is okay.
If I crimp it, it's okay?
Crimped is fine. But they're saying, so now nobody's going to use nuclear weapons because you can get arrested. Sure. That's a fantastic, deterrent, really, isn't it? And they're saying, but what if somebody did use nuclear weapons? They'd just say it was self-defence. That's what it says in the paper.
You can use them for self-defence.
So, hang on a sec. If somebody's used a nuclear weapon, who's actually going to come around and knock on the door with a little bit of paper? Sorry, you've got to come down to the station, I'm afraid.
You're in a lot of trouble, Mr. Gaddafi.
You've got to come down to the station, Russia. But anyway, it is now illegal to use nuclear weapons. Keep that in mind, Australians. And what about having an all-nuclear, a 15-megaton nuclear Beasley? Let's just drop it, shall we?
Well, we'll get arrested.
Will we?
Look behind you at the studio, Tone. Greenpeace have already assembled. Don't do it.
And they brought the cops.
Are you really going to drop it?
Well, the idea is to stop it from being dropped. That's what this is how it's supposed to work.
Stop it being dropped, or we're going to be hauled out of here and thrown in the clink.
Now, we like to drop the Beasleys onto something tiny and defenceless. What have we got today, Mickey?
Barbara Cartland.
Yes, indeed.
She's celebrating a birthday, Tone, the big 9-5. She's 95 today.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? 95 today, and I'm telling you, it's quite a celebration.
Can I do the oldest joke on the program?
Go on.
She's 95, doesn't look a day over 94. And how does she maintain those youthful looks? Well, she uses royal jelly. She's been quaffing down the royal jelly at a frightening rate, apparently, for some years. She's had hormone replacement therapy, but she's abandoned those because she's found something new called Alicia's Flame. What is Alicia's Flame?
You're asking me, Tone, and I'm looking at you, and it's the first I've heard of it.
Alicia's Flame. It sounds like a party trick that Alicia Silverstone might do after she's been tanking on. I don't know.
It's like an Elvis Presley song. Only she's flame.
I don't know. Barbara Cartland.
Do you know she's 600 books? 600 books. Edward de Bono was in here the other day, mouthing off about 55. Have a look at Barbara Cartland.
Exactly.
Racked up 600, buddy.
Has she got a theory of cognitive dissonance under her belt, though? And she's still, at 95, she is still knocking out the books. Cartland still cranks out a new title every 2 weeks, dictating 6,000 words a day to one of 3 secretaries. Why do I get the feeling that, like, most of those 6,000 words would be, speak up! I don't know, but fair bit of work, fair bit of maintenance required on Barbara Cartland to get her ready for a photo by the looks of this. But enough of that. We're going to drop a Beasley on her, and we're going to do it unless you can answer a few trivia questions. So call us now. We've tried to make them simpler. We really have. We've got an Olympic prize pack with your name on it, courtesy Sanyo, so call us now and beat the Beasley. 1-800-657-657.
This is Martin Molloy, brought to you by Absolutely Nobody.
Yes, it's time for radio's most dangerous competition, Beat the Beasley, here at Martin Molloy. It's Barbara Cartland's birthday today, and as kind of a tribute to her, we're going to drop today's Beasley on her head. And it's a thermonuclear Beasley. It's a 15-megaton Beasley. It's in direct contravention of the new ruling from the International Court, which says that not only can you not use nuclear weapons, you're not even allowed to threaten to use nuclear weapons. So I suppose, in effect, we've broken the law already.
Now we're in it.
But we can prevent that catastrophe from happening with the assistance of our contestant, who is Mickey.
Say good day to Lisa. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, how are you?
Not too bad. And how are you going? How's your day been?
Pretty good because I'm on holiday.
You're on holidays. Where are you from?
Ballina in New South Wales.
Right, and whereabouts are you holidaying?
Just outside of the Sunshine Coast. I'm actually staying at Palmwoods, but, you know, hanging out at the beach and blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
Not much swimming, of course.
And what about, did you hear us talking to Trevor Hendy?
Yes.
And did you hear the prospect of an Iron Man band? Oh, what's happening there? We've mentioned Trev's band and your kids have gone off?
Got a little Iron Man there yourself, have you?
Yeah, I did hear it. But I thought he's been doing that for ages, though.
Has he? Oh,
yeah, I think so.
That's how out of touch we are.
He hasn't, split the band up and reformed yet, so he can't have been doing it that long.
No, just that his musical talent, I should say.
Okay, well, now, is that kitty in the background going to distract you from the task at hand?
No, they're not mine, so that's got nothing to do with me.
All right. Just keep on walking, nothing to see here. Now what's happening?
Sounds like the Iron Man band is warming up in the background.
Sorry.
Sounds like they're constructing their own Beasley. All right, well, let's crane it into position. And, Lisa, please attempt to remain focused throughout the following drilling.
Good luck, Lisa.
Thank you.
And when you hear the gunshot, the questions will start coming. I thought that was it. Oh, name a TV show that features a nuclear power plant.
Simpsons.
Yes.
It's Barbara Cartland's birthday. How old is she?
95?
Yes.
Which former Australian Prime Minister turns 80 tomorrow?
Oh, crikey. Malcolm Fraser, I don't know.
Oh, no.
And who can take the sunshine, sprinkle it with dew?
Sprinkle it with dew?
Who can take the sunshine, sprinkle it with dew?
Pass.
It's the Candy Man.
Oh.
Who's on their Filthy Lucre tour at the moment?
Who's what?
Who's on their
Filthy Lucre?
Yeah, it's a tour. It's a band.
Oh, I don't know. Silverchair?
Oh, no.
Sex Pistols. Where were the last Olympics held?
Oh, my God. Barcelona.
Yes. Name another Australian big landmark apart from the big pineapple.
The big banana at Cobbs Harbour.
Yes. Whereabouts in Spain is Christopher Skase hiding out?
Mallorca.
Yes.
What's that?
You've done it again, Tony Martin. You read the questions. You start out and it starts you, me. We get 4 in and all of a sudden I'm out. I'm out of there. What happened? If they come sniffing around here about nuclear weapons, you can take it on your head.
But you missed out question 4.
Well, which didn't make sense having got the previous one wrong.
But the good news is, Lisa, you've won. You've got the Olympic prize back.
Yeah, unreal. Are you serious?
Yeah, and
oh my God.
It's the widescreen telly, it's the Sports Review VCR, it's pizza, it's Coke, and it's a cleaner.
Woohoo!
All courtesy of the good people at Sanyo. And listen to this for good news.
Yeah.
Tony Barber's coming in here next week.
Oh, bargain!
He's not coming round to your place. He's coming in here, and I'm not joking, live on air, he is going to give me and Mick a Quizmaster clinic.
Woohoo.
So whenever we do Beat the Beasley again, which is probably not very likely.
What's going on with Lisa? She's on she's having surface, and we've gone to her. Hey, Trevor Hendy's playing around the corner. Yeah, he's been doing that for ages. Hey, we've got Tony Barber on the show. Bargain! What are you thinking?
Oh, no.
All right, well, Lisa, I'm sure the whole nation is on tenterhooks, whatever that might mean, because we want to hear the Beasley drop. I know it's completely illegal, but are you going to give us the go-ahead?
It's for Barbie, for sure.
Okay. Head for your shelter, people! And there goes Barbara Cartland.
I think we dropped it on Barbara Cartland's cat.
I'm sure that won't stop her from knocking out a couple more books before the end of the show. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for playing Beat the Beasley. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Unreal.
Martin Molloy. It's Alex Party here at Martin Molloy.
At Martin Molloy, we're creating the future today. That's right. We're not just waiting for the future to drag its sorry ass into the present. We're creating it now. A future you won't believe. You'll be sitting there going, bugger me, that's the future, is it? Phew, that's a beauty. At Martin Molloy, we're creating a future. A future for you and your family. Obviously, there's some forms to be signed, and I'll have to check with the warehouse. I mean, you wouldn't want that one. It's been on the shop floor since October. The future at Martin Molloy is simple. You know those big water slides like they have at SeaWorld? It's like that. You get in one end and boom, before you know it, there you are, in the future, with your togs pulled right up your crack. It's the future. It's, well, remember when calculators first came out? They were really big, size of a house brick, with those red numbers and the buttons that were really hard to push in. But you still went, wow, how futuristic is this? It's like something off Space 1999. Check it out. I've spelt Shell Oil. That's what the future's like at Martin Molloy. The future is f***ing excellent. I'm telling you, it's really f***ing excellent. At Martin Molloy, the future is here. And it's not here for a haircut.
Letter in, Hendy and the Blowfish winding up another round of Martin Molloy. And Mickey, have you checked out the Woman's Day this week?
Always.
There's an article about this woman who I think was in the news a few months back, and we all heard about it. It was an awful story about how this woman was tricked into participating in a number of sexual activities under the misapprehension that she was helping ASIO. Not a funny story in itself, but there's a story about her in the Woman's Day. It's called I Was a Sex Slave Spy. And there's
her words.
Those are her words. And there's a picture of her with her husband, and I don't know, I think maybe she should get him checked out as a spy because he's wearing the phoniest looking moustache and glasses combination I've ever seen.
It looks like the David Boone mask, doesn't it? Have a look at that. What's she in? That's going to be some kind of Cleopatra-style wig.
Oh, I see. It's meant to be a disguise. Is that what it's meant to be?
I think so. You know, I saw that picture. I thought they were at last night's Cointreau ball. Well, they're interesting costumes.
And he's decided to go along as Ned Flanders, apparently. I hope she realises it's a false moustache. I hope she's not going to be in yet another article in the Woman's Day 6 months' time. But we've had a Burgos sighting, a John Burgess sighting. Everyone's chasing John Burgess at the moment. They want to do know what he's going to do next. How's he feel? He's not talking to anybody. Apparently he was sighted down at Channel 9. This is serious, auditioning for the new Blankety Blanks. Channel 9 are, what are they doing? They're bringing back in Melbourne tonight. Now they're bringing back Blankety Blanks.
Well, where does it stop?
They're working on 40 years of television. Have they got any new ideas at all down there?
No, they don't.
But they're bringing back Blankety Blanks, and Burgos had a crack at hosting. I think Tim Ferguson's had. They've done like 7 or 8 pilots.
Barbara Cartland.
She
had to go. That was back in the 40s.
Yeah, she's a bit too young and new for them. But they've also got, who else? I think Shane Withington. Remember him from Willing and Able?
Yeah.
They've had, who else? There was somebody else was, Shane Borney. He had a crack at it. And listen to this, not joking, Kate Fisher. They've auditioned Kate Fisher to host Blake. Can you imagine Kate Fisher hosting Blankety Blanks? I'm afraid my mind is a complete blank. I think she'd be fantastic. How's the way they're just trying to wedge Kate Fisher into anything now? Yeah. That'll work. Get her in. All right. Well, if you've had a Burgos sighting, don't forget to fax us and tell us about it. What is the fax number? Martin Molloy, 1-800-816-679. And we really must go. Thanks to our guests today, Trevor Hendy, Danny Minogue, and all our gladiators. Also, don't forget to join us tomorrow when Amanda Keller will be on board. And until then, remember, if you can't say something intelligent, come talk to us.